Hi guys, and welcome back. It's Lori with the Simple Suburban Homestead. I wanted to bring a couple things to you guys today to show you. First off, I want to show you our sprouts that we started. I'm going to move in a little bit closer to show you the difference in these sprouts. This is only day 2. Can you see them in there? The sprouts have started sprouting really nicely. These are the broccoli sprouts, and this is the wheatgrass sprouts. You can kind of see them on the back of the glass, how they have a little white sprig to them. So those are doing very well. They have been rinsed twice, and matter of fact, while we're on, I'm going to go ahead and rinse them real fast. You just give them a rinse, a shake, and a drain, and back they go. Within a couple more days, we should be having jars full of sprouts. Hope everybody's doing well. We've had a fun weekend. I found this quiet moment to be able to video. We homeschool, and my daughter and granddaughters live here, and they homeschool. And so at times you're going to hear commotion in the house and dogs and Piper, and welcome to our homestead. Anyway, what I want to talk to you guys today about is how to make chop. So chop is basically vegetables and grains that are chopped up for your birds. Now, you could feed this to any birds, but this is specifically what I give to Piper, my cockatiel. He, of course, gets all sorts of other store-bought foods, bird food, seeds, pellets, and whatnot. But this is something that I make for him. Hang on one second, guys. Okay, thanks guys, sorry about that. Anyway, so this is food that I make for Piper, and it lasts about 4 or 5 days in the refrigerator. So basically, they can have almost any vegetable that we can have. I always research before giving Piper something, just to make sure that it's safe for a cockatiel. So I usually feed him what we have in the refrigerator because we eat a lot of fresh vegetables. So this morning I made a new container of chop for him. And normally I do a grain or a bean. This is, I believe it's called the 15 bean soup, the dry beans. And I've done this once and it was not his favorite. He just kind of messed with the beans and didn't really like them, so we have beans left over. But if you do a dry bean, you're gonna wanna soak your beans overnight and then cook them, just like you would for yourself if it's a dry bean. He absolutely loves the wild rice. So this brand is really good. It doesn't have seasonings in it. It just has the different grains of rice. And so usually I make up like a half a cup, and I put it in a Ziploc bag and I put it in the freezer. Veggies, or not veggies, I'm sorry, pastas. These are the veggie pastas. This has been in the freezer and I took it out just to show you. He gets probably 4 or 5 of these chopped up very finely in his chop. So I tend to rotate a rice and a pasta. He can have regular elbow noodles, just chop, chop, chop. You want it very small. Also, I do peppers. Any color pepper that I have, I cut about this much of the pepper off and I wash it good and I chop it. Broccoli, my bird loves broccoli. So I give him about a good chunk of broccoli, and I chop all the green off and put that in. Again, chopped fine. Carrots, loves them. Loves carrots. Baby carrots, chop, 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 chop it up fine. Loves them. Today, he also got a piece of an apple, but then my granddaughter finished the apple, so I don't have that. Chopped him a piece of apple, chopped it up real fine, and also an egg. I tend to put one boiled egg or scrambled egg in with his chop, and that's a good protein as well. So after I chop it all up, this is about what it looks like. And it makes about enough for 4 days. Sometimes I give him about a tablespoon a day, and some days I have to throw it out. I just kind of smell it, and if the veggies start smelling funny, then it's gone and he doesn't get it anymore. But he does love to play with broccoli, and so sometimes I'll just give him a little head of the broccoli in his pen and just let him forage with it and play with it. So that's chop for Piper. And your birds could eat any of this as well. Like I've said before, eggs are very good for the birds. Chickens, quails, any birds, eggs are great for them. A good source of protein. My birds get pastas, they get grains. I do more grains than I do pasta. Pasta maybe once or twice a week. Like I mentioned before, the ramen noodles on another video without the seasoning. I do not give my birds seasonings. I will give them garlic. I will give them thyme. I will give them, they can have lavender. I actually grew a bunch of fresh herbs last year that I fed them, and they loved them. So now on to eggs. These are my chicken and quail eggs. This is the size difference. These are my two larger chickens. She's just a backyard chicken, just a mixed breed. This is an Australope. And this, in comparison, is my Brahma. So she's almost there, but not quite. Difference in color, I can tell exactly. I only have 3 hens, so I know who lays when and what the eggs look like. My backyard chicken, hers are always kind of more oval, like they don't really have a tip. And then my Australope, she always gives me a nice tip. Then my Brahma, hers are white and tiny. Now, in comparison, a quail egg to the Brahma. Tiny. Takes about, if I'm gonna make one of these, if I was gonna use a Brahma egg, I would use 2 of my quail eggs. Normally, if you're gonna bake or substitute quail eggs for chicken eggs, it's normally 3 to 4 quail egg. I've never gone more than 3. The other thing you can do is you can freeze your eggs. If you don't have a freeze dryer, I don't have a freeze dryer, that would be something I would love to invest in the future, but they are expensive. So I need to talk to the hubby about that a little more. But I do like to pressure can, and so freeze drying is another way that we could put food up that would be shelf stable for many, many years, like 10 years if you freeze dry. Quail eggs, you can freeze. I just dump them into a Ziploc bag or my freezer storage bags that I have the machine for. I can't think of the name of that right now. Seal and press or whatever it is. And they are just as good to use out of the freezer. And I think they'll last 4 or 6 months frozen. They are a little different consistency if you're eating them like scrambled. The yolks tend to be a little thicker than normal when you crack into a quail egg. So I don't really prefer that, but for baking, they're wonderful. There's really no difference in the texture or anything when you bake with them. The other thing I want to show you guys is quail scissors. These are quail scissors, and you can get them off Amazon. I think I got 3 or 4. They come different colored little handles. I think they were $5.99 or $6.99. They're not expensive at all. But they literally, because quail eggs, the shells are so fine, but the membranes are thick, that if you were to crack it on the side of your pan or your dish, you're really gonna get some shell in there. A lot of people don't mind that. When I was I had close to 100 quail at one time. I was bringing in a lot of eggs, and if I gifted somebody with eggs, I would gift them with a scissor as well, so that they had a way to open their eggs neatly. The way you use these is it has 2 sides of it. It has a sharp side and it has a round side. you're going to want to sit your pointy end of your egg in the round side, and then you just shear the top off. And it makes a perfect open egg. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Make a little mess with it. Wash my hands. Always recommend after messing with your chicken eggs, quail eggs, any type of egg, that you wash your hands good with soap so that you don't contaminate your kitchen with salmonella. So anyway, guys, that's what we're doing today. We have made chalk for Piper, and I showed you the difference in the egg sizes of my chicken eggs, and showed you the scissors for the quail eggs. If you were to boil quail eggs, they boil for about 5 minutes. Some people have said they boil for 3 or 4, depending on how you like the inside of your egg. We don't prefer the inside of our egg to be gummy at all, so 5 minutes works really well for us. We drop them into boiling water, set the timer for 5 minutes, drain them, and put them in a bowl of ice water. Set that for 15 minutes, and they peel beautifully. Have never had a problem with the quail eggs. My 4-year-old granddaughter can peel the quail eggs. That's how beautifully they peel, with using that manner of doing it, with putting them in the ice water. Anyway, I hope you guys have found this to be informative, and I'm going to try to bring a recipe back tonight that I want to try for the first time for dinner. It's called chicken Alfredo monkey bread, and I'll try to make a video of that, and if it turns out good, then I'll share that with you guys as well. Thank you, and we'll talk again soon. God bless.